What if war itself raged within your veins? Every battle cried your name and blood was your legacy. This was the destiny of Ares. A chilling prophecy from the sacred oracle of Delphi, where the air was thick with the sweet, intoxicating smoke of incense echoed through the chamber. The Pythia's voice, like the whispering cosmic winds, wove cryptic images of the future, warning Zeus that his child with Hera would overthrow him, mirroring the bloody cycle where Cronus, Zeus's father, was castrated with a gleaming sharp sickle, seizing power through violence. Fearing the prophecy, yet desiring a powerful heir to maintain cosmic balance, Zeus persuaded Hera to bear Ares. According to ancient, cryptic legend, Hera used a forbidden, potent magical herb to conceive without Zeus's full aid, a sign of her early jealousy of his absolute power and her desire to establish independent familial balance, which later strained their relationship. Ares was born amid Hera's agonizing, prolonged labor screams, a robust, vibrant infant with glowing red eyes like fresh blood on a battlefield, curly black hair like untamed flames, bronze skin shimmering with violence and strength, and a primal cry like the distant, terrifying roar of a battlefield that shook Olympus, rattled clouds and scattered celestial birds. Hera cradled him with maternal love, but deep unease about the prophecy's consequences, knowing Ares embodied raw violence and brutal war, a force even Zeus feared might disrupt cosmic balance or destroy their family. Zeus, gazing at the newborn, declared with a proud yet hesitant voice, "This boy has war in his veins, but he must balance courage with brutality and defy the prophecy with his own strength." From birth, Ares clutched the air with small but powerful, grasping hands, signaling his innate drive for conflict, while black vultures with wide wings and sharp beaks circled his cradle, a prophetic sign of his bloody, war-torn future. This perilous birth, rich with sensory details, the infant's cry filling the palace, the warm scent of divine blood, and the quaking energy of the newborn, marked the start of Ares' epic as a god who tied violence to cosmic balance but often earned the god's disdain, laying the foundation for his loves, failures and roles in mythology, showing that war always has two sides, courage and destruction. Ares grew up in the festive, beautiful, yet tense and envious realm of Olympus, where lush gardens bloomed with the sweet, enchanting scent of eternal roses and lilies. Gods reveled with divine red wine that brought joyous oblivion, and celestial harp and lyre music filled the air with harmony as gentle breezes moved clouds like silken curtains. But Ares was always alone, ostracized at these feasts. His innate violence and sudden, unpredictable rage, like devastating storms, frightening and repelling others, stirring hatred. As a child, he played with a small, sharp bronze sword that gleamed with danger, its handle carved from the bones of defeated giants, tamed wild black dogs with glowing red eyes, sharp teeth, and bone-chilling growls as loyal war companions, and kept black vultures with wide wings, bloodied beaks and hungry eyes as pets, circling above and casting shadows of death, symbols of his future as the brutal, merciless god of war. Zeus called him the thoughtless, impulsive warmonger, the most hated god of Olympus. For Ares loved war for its violence, bloodshed and destruction, not strategy or justice. Hera, with maternal love tinged with worry, protected him, calling him my brave son who balances violence and strengthens our family. Athena, his half-sister with piercing gray eyes and a mocking, strategic tone, ridiculed him, saying, "Your war is raw, thoughtless force, not wisdom or justice. You'll always be hated and defeated." Ares trained with his future sons, Deimos, fear, with terrifying red eyes like fresh blood and a shadowy form that paralyzed soldiers, and Phobos, panic, whose dark, trembling shadows spread black mist, sowing chaos in armies. His muscular, bronze-scarred body bore training wounds like war medals, and he wore a red-plumed helmet with sharp, bloody hawk feathers, preparing for real battlefields. This early hatred, loneliness, and rejection shaped Ares into a bold yet despised war god, awakening a balance of uncontrolled violence and passionate love, setting the stage for forbidden, thrilling relationships and scandals, particularly with Aphrodite, proving even fierce gods have hearts and love can balance violence. Weary of loneliness and the gods' rejection, always on the fringes of Olympus's joyous but inaccessible feasts, Ares fell for Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty, love, and desire. Her enchanting allure, golden curls like a rising sun captivating the breeze, sparkling blue eyes like a calm sea drowning hearts, pearl-white skin, a mesmerizing smile that broke resistance, and a divine aura that enthralled all, was married to Hephaestus, the lame, soot-covered god of smithing, to balance natural beauty with craftsmanship. Their secret, thrilling, dangerous affair began in Olympus's hidden romantic gardens, where blood-red roses bloomed with sweet scents. Warm breezes caressed leaves like lovers' hands. Silvery moonlight glowed like hidden candles, and crystal springs whispered love. Their passionate kisses and powerful embraces balanced Ares's raw, brutal violence with Aphrodite's soft, enchanting beauty, shaking the cosmos with their forbidden love. Aphrodite, with a soft, harp-like voice, said, "My Ares, I soften and balance your cruel war with my love. You are my violent equilibrium." Ares, with a calm yet passionate growl, replied, "Aphrodite, you turn my war's fire into love. Balancing my brutality, you make me feel powerful." But Hephaestus, with hidden jealousy and heartbreak, spied from his fiery forge, crafting an invisible, unbreakable magical net of thin golden chains, sticky and strong like a spider's web, to trap the lovers in a moment of passion and spark a scandal. This forbidden love, rich with sensory details, the scent of roses, the warmth of embraces, the murmur of springs, made Ares a father to dual-natured children, warlike, fear and panic, and loving, harmony and eros, balancing raw violence with tender love, but setting the stage for a great scandal, divine laughter, shame, and future vengeance, showing even divine love carries heavy, humiliating consequences. Ares and Aphrodite's passionate, forbidden affair continued, maintaining a cosmic balance between war and beauty. But Helios, the sun god with his golden chariot, fiery horses and ever-watchful eyes, spotted them on Hephaestus's bed under a bright, warm sun, their fiery kisses and hidden betrayal heavy with the scent of scandal. Helios, with veiled jealousy, informed Hephaestus, who, enraged and heartbroken, crafted an invisible, unbreakable net of golden chains in his smoky, hammer-clanging forge, strong yet delicate like a spider's web, to ensnare the lovers. As Ares and Aphrodite lay entwined, the net trapped their muscular, beautiful bodies like cold stone, their screams of shame echoing as they couldn't move. Hephaestus, with a proud, pained voice, summoned the gods, who gathered swiftly. Zeus laughed thunderously, mocking Ares, the great warrior. Caught in chains of forbidden love, this is justice, hilarious and instructive. Hermes quipped, "Love is blind, but chains see all." Apollo laughed with his harp, but Hera, with piercing green eyes, glared, her jealousy of Aphrodite flaring, saying, "This punishment of forbidden love preserves family balance." Poseidon freed Ares with a costly golden coin to prevent divine war, maintaining balance. Ashamed, with red eyes blazing and a scarred, humiliated spirit, Ares fled to Thrace, training with his dogs among savage warriors to vent his rage, while Aphrodite, with silvery tears, retreated to Cyprus to restore her beauty with flowers and new loves. This scandal, vivid with the clank of chains, divine laughter, and the scent of shame, immortalized their forbidden love, stirred Hera's jealousy, shook divine relationships, and foreshadowed Ares' future defeats, proving even the war god is vulnerable and faces consequences. From Ares and Aphrodite's forbidden, scandalous yet eternal love, which balanced war and beauty and shook the cosmos, dual-natured, powerful children were born, each reflecting their parents' traits: Deimos, fear, with blood-red eyes and a shadowy form paralyzing soldiers; Phobos, panic, with dark, trembling shadows spreading chaos; Harmonia, beautiful, with golden hair and blue eyes, balancing war with peace; Eros, love, with golden arrows igniting passion; and Teros, mutual love, punishing unrequited love; Pothos, desire, and Himeros, lust, linking love to violence. Ares trained them in battle with dripping bronze swords and blood-red armor, saying, "You are my war's balance, merge violence with love." Aphrodite nurtured their loving side with sweet kisses and gifts. These births, rich with divine family conflict, made Ares a complex father, balancing raw war with tender love. Though his children often lived in dark, war-torn tales, setting the stage for future battles like the Gigantomachy, showing his family mirrored his own blend of violence and love. After his children's birth, Gaia, enraged by the Titans' defeat, birthed giants from her blood to destroy Olympus, their stone-hard bodies, venomous serpent legs, and tree-hurling hands shaking the earth with roars and the scent of blood. Ares, with his red-plumed helmet and blood-dripping sword, slew Mimas with a crushing blow, shaking the earth like an earthquake. But another giant stone strike wounded Ares, spilling divine blood and drawing a pained roar, balancing victory with defeat. This war, vivid with roars, the scent of wet earth and quaking ground, made Ares a fierce warrior but foreshadowed greater defeats, balancing epic triumphs with humiliating losses. The twin giants Otus and Ephialtes, with mountain-like bodies, imprisoned Ares in a bronze jar for 13 agonizing months, his screams echoing in suffocating darkness, his bronze body scarred by cold chains. Hermes freed him with cunning, breaking the chains. This dark, humiliating ordeal, with the clank of chains and scent of cold metal, showed Ares' vulnerability, but his resilient rage restored balance, setting the stage for future trials like killing Halirrhothias. When Halirrhothias, Poseidon's son, assaulted Ares' daughter Alcippe, Ares slew him with a bloodied sword, roaring, "No one touches my family. This is justice." Poseidon, enraged, brought him to trial at the Areopagus, where Zeus and the gods in colorful robes judged. Ares was acquitted for defending his family, balancing warlike justice with divine law, showing his emotional fatherly side, amidst the scent of blood and courtroom tension. Xecnus, Ares' brutal son, was killed by Heracles. Enraged, Ares attacked, but Athena deflected his blows, wounding him. This defeat highlighted Ares' weakness against heroes, but balanced his rage, showing even the war god could falter. In the 10-year Trojan War, as described in Homer's Iliad, Ares, the Greek god of war, initially promised to aid the Greeks, Achaeans, but switched sides to join the Trojans due to his deep love for Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty who favored them. Accompanied by his sons Deimos, fear, and Phobos, panic, symbols of terror and dread on the battlefield, Ares bolstered the Trojans' morale while terrifying Greek soldiers with his ferocious roars and brutal attacks. He acted like a storm of war, clad in gleaming bronze armor and wielding a bloodied sword, even bringing his fiery horses to the field for greater slaughter. In a pivotal moment, the Greek hero Diomedes, empowered by Athena with extraordinary strength and divine sight to perceive gods, wounded Ares in the side with a sharp spear. The deep wound spilled the god's black blood, and Ares let out a scream like thunder, shaking thousands earth and sky, before fleeing in agony to Mount Olympus for Zeus to heal him. This defeat portrayed Ares as a fallible war god, yet his courage and resilience in returning To battle maintained a balance between violence and vulnerability, teaching that even gods are not immune to war's toll. In the midst of the Trojan War, Ares, enraged by Athena's prior interference, charged at his half-sister, clad in a red-plumed helmet and full armor. With ferocious speed and strength, he swung his sword and roared, "And now is the time for vengeance." But Athena, the goddess of wisdom and strategic warfare, calmly and shrewdly used Hades' invisible helmet to deflect his blow. Then with a massive, heavy stone, symbolizing raw but intelligent power, she struck Ares on the head. He collapsed in agony, his massive body covering 7 acres, about 72 meters of ground, raising clouds of dust and causing an earthquake-like tremor. The other gods on Olympus laughed and mocked Ares, deepening his humiliation. This clash highlighted the fundamental difference between Ares' brutal, impulsive and instinctive warfare and Athena's precise, intelligent and tactical approach. Ares was defeated, but this lesson preserved a balance in their martial rivalry, showing that courage without wisdom is insufficient, and even the god of war can be overcome. Ascalaphus, one of Ares' sons from his relationship with Astyoche, daughter of Actor, king of Orchomenus, led the Orchomenian forces in the Trojan War alongside his brother Ialmenus, a brave warrior and one of the Argonauts, participants in Jason's quest for the Golden Fleece. He was killed on the Trojan battlefield by Deiphobus, a Trojan prince and Hector's brother, with a deadly spear. When news of his son's death reached Ares, he was consumed with rage. His eyes blazed red. He seized his bloodied sword, and with a terrifying roar, he charged toward the battlefield to seek vengeance. Intent on annihilating the Greeks, he was stopped by Athena, who enforced Zeus's decree barring gods from direct interference in the war, preventing Ares from entering the fray. This scene revealed Ares' paternal and emotional side, a god typically known as a symbol of violence, yet here defined by familial grief and rage, while maintaining a balance between personal emotions and the divine rules of war, reminding all that even gods must respect the cosmic order. Ares was identified by symbols such as a sharp bronze sword, representing direct slaughter, a red-plumed helmet to intimidate enemies, wild dogs, symbolizing ruthless hunting and attack, black vultures, perching on the dead, embodying war's death, wild boars for brutal sacrifices, a flaming torch symbolizing war's fire, and a chariot drawn by fiery horses. He was often depicted as a bearded, muscular warrior in full armor with a shield. Worship of Ares in ancient Greece was sparse, as he was a less popular god, with Greeks viewing war as destructive and preferring Athena, the goddess of strategic warfare. His main temples were in Sparta, where brave warriors revered him, and Thrace, land of savage warriors, with worship involving bloody sacrifices like bulls or boars, accompanied by war dances and battle cries. Sometimes dogs or even war prisoners were sacrificed. This worship made Ares a god of courage, but fierce and unpredictable, maintaining balance in warrior culture, where violence was necessary, but approached with caution. In Roman mythology, Ares transformed into Mars, but with significant changes. Unlike Ares, who symbolized chaotic violence, Mars was a more revered god, the father of Romulus and Remus, founders of Rome, and a symbol of military power for maintaining peace and agriculture. Romans viewed him as a warrior father and protector, who managed war and blessed the land. Festivals for Mars were held in March, named after him, and October, on March 1st marches. Ceremonies marked the start of the war season with Sally, dances, armed dances, and bull sacrifices, while in October, horses were sacrificed to purify military equipment. Mars's temples in Rome, like the Temple of Mars Ultor, the Avenger, were central to military rituals. This cultural transformation turned Ares' brutal Greek image into a balanced, essential deity for the Roman Empire, immortalizing his legacy. Ares remained in Olympus, and his passionate yet tumultuous love with Aphrodite continued, symbolizing the balance between war and love. He endured as a symbol of brutal war and courage. In modern culture, in the film, Troy, Ares is depicted as the driving force behind the war. In the God of War video game series, he is Kratos' main antagonist, a powerful but arrogant god whose destructive might threatens the world but is ultimately defeated, though his legacy persists in the game's violence. In books, TV series, and comics like Wonder Woman, Ares represents modern warfare. This legacy transformed Ares from an ancient god into an unforgettable symbol in media, maintaining a balance between violence and moral lessons. War still burns in the name of Ares. If his fury reached you, strike with a like and a comment, and subscribe to march in his army.